The secret life of awkward small talk. Ever notice how small talk is the duct tape of social encounters? It may not be glamorous, but it keeps everything from falling apart. Humans have exchanged pleasantries. Lovely weather, isn't it? For centuries, with historians tracing this ritual back to the earliest marketplaces and public gatherings. The real function: it creates a buffer zone, a neutral playground where strangers and acquaintances can suss out each other's vibes without committing to anything earth-shattering. Sociologist Irving Goffman once called small talk the ritual buffer between strangers. But why does it so often feel painfully awkward? Maybe because everyone knows it's a performance, yet we all keep acting, terrified to break the unwritten script. Is asking about someone's weekend a secret handshake or polite filler? Who knows? But heaven forbid you skip the pleasantries. So next time you're fumbling for conversation about the weather or last night's game, remember, you're not alone. You're participating in one of society's most subtly choreographed ballets. Clumsy, yes, but strangely reassuring. Unwritten etiquette for online dating. Swiping right used to mean a bold stroke on a painting, but now it's the start of a digital dance full of invisible rules. Online dating's unwritten etiquette is a modern minefield. Reply too soon, and you're desperate. Wait too long, and you're ghosting. When did these customs sneak into our text threads? Anthropologists say courtship rituals have always existed, but technology turbocharged them, making new rules faster than apps can update their terms of service. Oscar Wilde quipped, "The very essence of romance is uncertainty. Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble agree. A little ambiguity keeps things spicy." Yet despite all the pixelated confusion, profiles echo ancient traditions. Present your best self, don't overshare, and whatever you do, don't be creepy. Why does nobody write these dating guidelines down? Maybe because keeping us guessing is half the fun. Or maybe if people followed written instructions, online dating would lose its edge. And what would we make memes about then? The invisible rule of elevator violence. You step into an elevator, you nod. You stare at the numbers. You say nothing. Welcome to one of modern life's most sacred rituals, the rule of elevator silence. Strangely universal, this rule is like the Hogwarts of social codes. Everyone seemingly knows it, but nobody remembers learning it. Historian Lynn Laughlin calls spaces like elevators non-places, transit zones where the safest bet is to shrink your presence. Why? Maybe it's a vestige from the advent of skyscrapers in the late 19th century. Imagine two Victorian strangers stuck face to face in a 3x3-foot metal box with no smartphones. Awkward, right? So, silence became the great equalizer. Besides, an elevator is basically a box full of personal space on wheels. So why risk breaking the peace? Every man's home is his castle, goes the old saying. Apparently, every elevator is his moat. Next time you're in one, try humming. It's the only legal rebellion. How to decode the look in social gatherings. Ah, the look. Not a word, not quite a gesture, and yet a blazing billboard of meaning. At any party or crowded table, you've surely glimpsed it. Your friend's wide-eyed panic as Uncle Joe launches into his UFO conspiracy. Or that shared eyebrow raise when someone brings up pineapple on pizza. Throughout history, nonverbal communication has often spoken louder than words. Charles Darwin himself wrote, "The very essence of thinking is letting one's defenses down." The look is our psychic Wi-Fi, a quick encrypted signal zipping across a room, but decoding it is an art form, honed since humanity's first fire circles. Is the look saying, "Rescue me," or "Look behind you, spill incoming"? The real trick: red herrings abound. Reading the wrong look can launch 1,000 miscommunications. But hey, even if you misread, at least you're trying. Next time you lock eyes with your friend across a gathering, remember, The art of silent transmission is alive and well. The mysterious code of the grocery line. If life is a game, the grocery line is the ultimate test of patience, strategy, and silent judgment. How close is too close? Do you make conversation or keep your gaze fixed on the tabloids? These unwritten rules are so pervasive, even ancient Romans would have understood the etiquette, though they might have drawn the line at self-checkout. A fun fact, the concept of queuing emerged with the rise of city life and rationing in wartime Britain. The British still top the charts for polite queuing, inventing the phrase, "wait your turn." But universal? Not quite. Different cultures have their own silent signals. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre mused, "Hell is other people, especially if those people cut in line." The grocery queue isn't just about produce and checkout beeps. It's a masterclass in observing subtle pecking orders. So, the next time you're in aisle 5, squinting to see which line moves faster, remember, you're living out a social contract as old as civilization and fighting the good fight against queue jumpers everywhere. The unofficial rules of pet ownership. Getting a pet comes with a hush-hush handbook. Sure, dogs and cats don't need a reading lamp to know who's boss, but pet ownership runs on unwritten codes. Let's start with dog park diplomacy. Pick up after your pup, never judge a shaggy haircut, and never ever comment if a dog looks like its owner. Historians point out that ancient Egyptians revered their animals. Cats practically ruled the house. Today, pet parents are still expected to share photos, avoid hot-button debates between dog and cat lovers, and feign interest in every cute thing their furry friend does. Philosopher Michel de Montaigne observed, "When I play with my cat, how do I know she is not passing time with me, rather than I with her?" Pet etiquette is all about mutual respect. Whether you're negotiating cuddle rights or managing jealous looks between pets. The unspoken rule, love fiercely, clean frequently, and always pretend that last shoe wasn't your dog's latest chew toy. Coffee shop creepiness, the unspoken boundaries. The modern coffee shop. Half office, half sanctuary, all caffeinated chaos. Step lightly. This place brims with invisible boundaries, thicker than cold brew. Why do we tiptoe around other laptop warriors and not borrow their charger without express written consent? Coffee houses have long served as gathering places. Think Enlightenment salons or the original Parisian cafes, where geniuses debated philosophy. But today, the consensus? Give people space. Don't eavesdrop, or at least hide it better. And resist the urge to comment on someone's 3-hour muffin squatting. Good fences make good neighbors, wrote poet Robert Frost. Turns out, foam latte art is the current fence line. And heaven help you if you forget Wi-Fi is not a birthright, but a privilege won through stealthy observation of the password scrawled on the register. So, next time you're refilling your espresso, remember, it's not just a cafe, it's the United Nations of personal bubbles. The hidden art of the handshake. The handshake, half greeting, half secret society induction. Its origins are shrouded in ancient history. Some say it was proof a visitor carried no weapon. Others think it started as a simple show of trust. Fast forward to today, and there are about as many handshake styles as there are conspiracy theories. Limp fish, bone crusher, awkward two-pump, each sends its own silent message. "You cannot shake hands with a clenched fist," said Indira Gandhi, channeling years of diplomatic experience. But post-pandemic, the handshake's future looked shaky. Elbows, waves, and nods all vied for dominance. The etiquette: be firm, not aggressive, make eye contact, but don't stare into their soul. And above all, keep the sweat to a minimum. A bad handshake endures longer in memory than most awkward dates. So think of it as social origami. The smallest fold says the most. Or as some might say, to grip or not to grip? That is the question. The rules behind emoji communication. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, then an emoji is 1,000 words misspelled on purpose. Emoji communication is the millennial Morse code. Everything from love to shade can be condensed into a tiny digital face. The world's first emoticon is credited to computer scientist Scott Fahlman in 1982. He proposed launching a new age of sideways expressions. Fast forward, and the Oxford Dictionary named as its 2015 word of the year. Yes, an actual emoji. But the unwritten rules, context is everything. Is that winky face ironic, flirtatious, or just a nervous twitch? Emojis can smooth over textual hiccups, but use the eggplant in the wrong group chat, and you'll write yourself into legend. As Shakespeare almost said, brevity is the soul of wit, but don't be cryptic. In the end, emoji etiquette is a balancing act between cuteness and clarity. Overdo it, and you're a hieroglyphics enthusiast. Underdo it, and you risk being called, gasp, boring. The silent agreement of public restroom etiquette. The public restroom, a place so fraught with unwritten codes, even the bravest anthropologist might hesitate at the door. From urinal spacing in the men's room, always leave a buffer, to no eye contact at the sinks. These unspoken laws keep civilization from crumbling, one awkward hand drying at a time. The concept of public hygiene has existed since Roman bathhouses, yet etiquette wasn't officially written down. Why? Probably because everyone's hoping we'll just get it. Simone de Beauvoir wrote, "One is not born, but rather becomes a woman." Similarly, one is not born knowing the restroom rulebook, but rather learns through social osmosis and maybe a little shame. Don't talk unless absolutely urgent. Don't peek under the stall. And for goodness sake, wash your hands. The best restroom experiences are the ones forgotten immediately upon exit. So next time you find yourself whispering, "Is this the right stall?" remember, you're upholding the silent foundation of public decency. Found this video interesting? Leave us a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Let us know what we should cover next in the comments below.